Hello and welcome back. Today we're going to talk about the IEP process. For those parents who are new to this channel, my channel is about neurodiversity and the potential valedictorian in all children labeled with learning disabilities. So, your child's been labeled with a learning disability, now what? Well, as far as the school's concerned, you need to do the IEP process. The testing's been done. The psychologist has done the testing, or the school psychologist, or you had private testing done, and your child has a designated learning disability, whatever that disability may be. So what's involved in the IEP process? Well, I've done hundreds, maybe thousands of these. So they're a collaboration. They need to be a collaboration between the school, teacher, learning support teacher, counselors, and the home, parents. So the role of the learning support teacher is to make sure that the classroom teacher, especially in high school where your child is going to have 6, 7, 8 classes that are all different and all different teachers, that the teachers are on board with what adaptations are needed for your child. Your job as the parent is to make sure that the learning support teacher knows what your child is good at. And so you want to come at this from a point of strength. How can you help your child use whatever gifts they have, music, sports, singing, dancing, whatever it is? How can you help them use those talents to be a better student? What can the school do to ensure that those talents are used to help them become more confident and better learners? All right. So the first thing you got to do is do a checklist on your child. What are they good at? Write down the things that they're amazing at. You know, they're very social, or you know, they can memorize anything. And keep a list, keep a running list, and bring that to your IEP meeting. You should have a list of things that they need from the psychologist's report, but you want to attack that list with what they're good at. So if your child has a phonics problem, can't string together words, and has difficulty reading, well, they're going to require a reader, and that's cool, but also they might require a scribe, someone to write down for them what their thoughts are, because they can come up with an answer. They just can't articulate the answer properly or write the answer properly. So that's a processing issue. A processing issue is the biggest reason to be a learning resource. Other than that, they're going to be in a learning resource room. Hopefully they'll get diagnosed, and hopefully they'll get the supports that they need to help them become amazing, independent learners. So what does that look like? When you go into the meeting with the teacher, with the learning resource teacher, person like myself, bring that documentation. Say, look, this is what they're good at. This is what they're great at. This is some of the art that they've done, or these are the competitions that they're in. This is the dance classes that they're taking 4-6 hours every day after school, whatever it is. And let the teachers know. They got to know that this kid is working their butt off doing something else. And so when they pile on the homework, maybe they need to reduce the workload for this particular child and get them to show their understanding and mastery of the material in a different way. And that can be easily done. And they can give an oral exam. They can give a presentation instead of a test. Whatever it is, whatever your child is good at, look at alternative ways for them to show their knowledge. A learning support classroom should be a blanket of comfort. So when the kids having issues, they should be able just to go to the learning support room and just hang out and get the support that they need at school and not have to go home or not have to, rely on their friends. It happens. And it's not usually a good thing when they don't come into the learning support room, because then they're doing things they shouldn't be doing, and that leads to a lot of other issues. So, you need to advocate for your child in that IEP meeting. Let the teachers, let the staff know what your kid is good at, what they excel at, what they're proud of, what they're really, really, really good at. And then B, you need to be on top of their schoolwork. I've talked about it in a previous episode about creating routines. And I'm going to try this. If you go here, I'll post a link to that video about routines. Home routines are so important. And once you've got the IEP in place, now you've got to follow it up with the work at home. You've got to follow it up with the set study time and the no distractions. You've got to follow it up with, how can I help my child achieve their best? Because more work you do now, the ounce of prevention prevents a pound of cure later. I think that's the saying. So, the IEP process. I'll post a link to a checklist to the, what your kid is good at. I'll put in there as well, PDF on maybe a checklist on what you can do for the IEP meeting. I've never done this before, so I'm going to give it a shot. If you have any questions, please leave a comment at the end of this video, and like and subscribe if your child is neurodivergent or you want to help your child succeed in school and beyond. The IEP process is just one of the topics that are important to help your child succeed. Understanding learning strategies and best study habits and techniques are key to helping your child become a better learner. So, if those are interesting to you, please push the like button and subscribe and leave a comment. Thank you very much. I'm Mike, and this is Neurodivergent to Potential Valedictorian. Have a great day. Bye-bye.